DJ here, and today we're working on a 2019 Kia Venga. We're installing a dashboard camera into the vehicle so that not only are no wires on display, but also the fact that the camera will go on and off with the ignition of the vehicle. Now, before following this video guide, I just need to point out that basically by following the guide, any injury or damage to your vehicle, injury to yourself or damage to your vehicle, I will not be held liable or responsible in any way. So, moving on. What basic tools are we going to need to do the job? Well, this little array here is ideal. Some electrical tape, plastic leverage tool, probably the most important thing on the list. About £1 off eBay, Amazon, that sort of thing. Don't use a screwdriver. You will definitely put little dents in your plastic trim and make your car look rather battered. So get yourself a plastic leverage tool. Anything plastic will do. Pair of long nose pliers, just handy for pulling the fuses out. Multimeter, or one of those test probe screwdrivers. In other words, one of the ones with a little bulb in the end of them, and you can touch something and it lights up if it's live. The other thing I would recommend you using is a fitting kit for your camera. Here we have your typical fitting kit. This particular one's a Next based kit, but you can get them for most brands or universal ones. Most cameras run a mini USB power connection, so pretty universal. In this kit you will get a fuse spur, which is basically a doubling socket for one of the sockets in your fuse box. So you'll have a 2 or 3 amp fuse here to run the camera, and then the fuse that you pull out of your fuse box will go next to it, just there, look. And then you plug this into your fuse box. You can get these separately, again, eBay, Amazon, £1 to £2. The Kia uses mini blade fuse. Well, the UK spec Kia uses mini blade fuse. Obviously yours may differ depending on location, country of origin, that type of thing, and spec of the vehicle, but this particular one, mini blade fuse. There we go. You get a ferrite filter, which is to aid interference on DAB radios if you've got DAB radio. If you haven't got DAB radio, not too much of a problem. You won't probably need that. Very limited anyway, the interference suppression with one of these. Not very good, in all honesty. Right, power cable itself, a replacement one there. And what we have on the end here is a plus cable, which obviously plugs into your fuse spur, and an earthing cable with a bayonet on it to put under a screw or a nut to chassis earth to the vehicle. I'll be snipping this off, putting a ring terminal on, because I'll be using a bolt instead of a screw for this to hide under. But still, that's up to you. First things first, your fuse box is located right down here on a right-hand drive vehicle. Just simply pull to reveal your fuse box. Nice and easy to get to. Now the other thing to do is get your plastic leverage tool, pop it in the edge here and just push, and this will pop off. There you go, it's on like hooks. You'll need both hands to pull this off. There we go, away it comes, revealing some nice 12mm bolts there. Now you can take either one of these out as an earthing point. I'll be removing the lower one and using that as an earthing point. There we go, first thing to do is fit your ferrite filter, wrap your cable underneath it, round it and back out again. So the end product looks like this. Next up, we're going to get 2 or 3 zip ties. We're going to measure it up to the top of the windscreen, and we're going to wrap them periodically around the cable and then cover them in electrical tape. Now the reason I do this is to pad the cable out so that it sits nicely above your headlining. If you hit a big pothole, the last thing you want is the power cable coming loose and dangling down in front of your view while you're driving along. So it helps pad it out and just makes it stay put. There we go. The reason for covering them in tape is when you snip a cable tie, it can be quite sharp on the edge, and your headlining is made of like a card fibre substance, so obviously you don't want over the years it rubbing through and making a mess of it, so it's just to pad it, just that little bit. When you're pulling your headlining, just ease it very carefully, so just sort of put your fingers on the edge of it, pull it down just enough to be able to tuck this cable underneath. Do not go at it like a pull in a china shop, it's not needed. What you've got to do is tuck it up out of the way and follow it along. There we go, power cable tucked up just near the mirror there. Like I say, just flex it enough just to pop it under all the way along until you get to this corner. When you get to this corner, sorry about the sun there, it's really at an awkward angle. It's not normal for us to get this much sun in February, especially in England, but there we go. Then we get rain, frost and snow. That'll probably be next week. Anyway, I digress. Basically, we're going to pop it behind here. On this particular model, there isn't an airbag on the side. If your model has, obviously tuck the wire behind the airbag and then down the side where the rubber seal is until you get to the lower corner. Once you've successfully put your cable behind and down the edge there, push your rubber trim back on if you've pulled it off. I did, to make a bit of space. Now move on to removing one of the 12mm bolts for your earthing point. With the earth ring prepared, we've now got a washer on the end of it there, so the bolt sits nice and flush against the dashboard mount. We can screw that back in again. Just nip it up tight like it originally was. There we go, and that is your earth point. Bunch all your spare cabling up with a cable tie or some electrical tape, because we're going to pack that into the side here and just snugly tuck it down out of the way. The only thing you want extending into the fuse box area is your actual power cable. Most of the Kia models have a guide on the back of the panel that you pulled off to show you fuse box layout. On this particular car, when we do some testing, let's get our multimeter out with the ignition off. For example, if we were to test the 12 volt socket, front one, which is this 20 amp fuse just here, you will notice that it is 0. If we turn the ignition off, that will change to 12.4 or 12.5, around 12 volts anyway. This is an ideal fuse to use. Never use a fuse that's to do with ABS or airbags, anything like that, nothing safety orientated, always use an accessory fuse. And this particular car does have the cigarette lighter socket on a switch. So we'll be pulling this 20 amp fuse out right here. Like I say, do check your fuse box and do test it. It's the same principle with a test probe screwdriver, you just touch it on the end of the shiny bit of the fuse, the contact there, and you just basically make sure there is no readout or no voltage or no light with the ignition off, and that the light comes on, or you get voltage readout when you turn your ignition back on again. So we're going to remove that fuse, pop that in my fuse spur. An awful lot of the Kias come with these stunted fuses. If yours has got this type of stunted fuse, you'll have to replace it with a full one of the same rating. So they're all colour coded, yellow being 20 amp for an example. So we're now going to pop that into our fuse spur, like so, which I won't be able to do one-handed. I've never been able to do one of these one-handed. No, that goes in there anyway. Once your fuse is successfully in your fuse spur, using both hands, you can then plug it into the slot, like so. At this point, before you put your covers back on, you're just going to test your camera works. So with key and ignition, we'll turn on. There's your power light, there's your boot up. Lovely job. You can now come back to the corner of your dash, line up your clips, give it a bit of a tap where needed, pop that back on, rubber seal back on, all the way down. Obviously clip your fuse box cover back on, which again is on little popper lugs. You can soon get it in focus for you, that would help, wouldn't it? There we go, that's that back on. And that's it, that is how you fit a dash cam on one of these Kias. If you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to get back to you as fast as possible, just bear in mind there's millions of you guys and one of me. Thanks for watching, bye for now.